Well, hello there! It's been a while. I just wanted to let you guys know what I've been up to, what's been going on, what's coming, all of the good stuff. As you know, I've been repurposing this YouTube channel into a sort of hub for my music making process. And I didn't want you to think that I've forgotten about you, because I very much haven't. I've actually just sort of been doing my process somewhere else. I know it's confusing, but just bear with me. Evil genius status. So Sam and I have been streaming on Twitch. It's been going absolutely phenomenally. We've been having a great time. We've been playing a lot of video games, but I've also been doing some music streams. I've done 3 of them so far. They've been really, really fun, and a lot of people have been giving me great feedback that seeing my process live is really fascinating. So if you are into music, if you're a music nerd, definitely make sure that you're following over on Twitch. My username is, I'll probably I don't know, here is probably a good place. There it is. Make sure to go follow. It's very chill over there, and stay tuned on my Instagram and everything when I drop notifications about when I'm going live and doing music streams over there. We also have a Daddy Discord, so if you're not part of the Discord, make sure that you join that. That link is in the description below. So like I said, Twitch allows me to make music in real time, which is really cool. And there are some elements of producing a song that I think are really conducive to doing it live. You know, finding the sounds, organizing them, figuring out what the track is. But then there's a lot of stuff, you know, like recording and engineering a vocal, mixing and mastering a track. That stuff takes a lot more time and is a lot more granular. And so that is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be sort of vlogging and splicing together, just because I think it's going to be a little bit easier on the viewer than to sit and watch me do that live, because it's quite an arduous process. So here's what's going to be happening. In the next week, I'm going to be posting some edited down versions of my Twitch streams. So I'm going to be I've done 3 music Twitch streams where I built a new track. It's for a song called Contact High. It's named thusly because my first music stream on Twitch was on 420. Don't do drugs, kids! But all of those streams were about the creation of the track. And we have a track now, and I think it sounds really cool. And so I'm going to be posting just sort of edited down versions of those streams. So if you're curious about how the track was produced, which just means how the track was made, just taking the sounds and putting them in order, I will be posting those videos for your enjoyment. While I have you here though, I wanted to show you kind of where the track is right now, because I built it on a different computer, the computer that I use when I stream, and I've printed all of the stuff that I did and put it into my home studio, which is where we are right now, and I've run it through some really cool analog processing, and it's sounding real sexy. But for those of you who are curious about how the song was made, what the song is, definitely stay tuned for a big Twitch stream content dump here on this YouTube channel if you missed it. And make sure you're following over there for a plethora of Twitch content. Dad. I'm going to hop into the DAW now, and I'm going to show you what I've done with this Contact High song. Like I said, the track is finished, so now I'm starting to put some sweetening elements on there, using some analog processing with my Apollo Twin, and I have a Roland synth as well. So getting some of those real sounds and some of that real actual hardware to really just beef up the track and make it sound really cool. I've also put some processing in there, ran them through some professional studio monitors, so I'm getting a really good sense of what this song is actually going to sound like once all is said and done. And I'm starting to add those bells and whistles in so that when I actually want to officially print the song and send it off to release it someday, it will just sound so good. So let's dive in and I'll show you what I've been doing. All right, here we are in the session. So first and foremost, when I say that I printed the track, you can see all of this gray information. It's all muted. And this is the information that actually comes out of the digital synthesizer. And so what I've done is I've printed that information. So I'm not actually playing it out of the digital synthesizer anymore. I've printed it as a performance. So now it's audio information. And that just uses less processing and makes it a little bit more final. And it also doesn't allow the digital synth to make any mistakes. It's set now. So I'm starting to glue these things together. You'll also see, and I did this live on Twitch, but I didn't really explain it. You'll see that I have everything put into groups, into summing stacks is what they're called. And what this allows me to do, so these are the sort of the plunks, I call them. These are the pads. I have vocal FX, which are, these sort of like shouts. Percussion elements, bass, the kick drum isolated, the rest of the drums, and then some additional FX down here. And that allows me to process them all together. Again, I can't think of a better metaphor other than like I'm starting to take all of these isolated pieces of sonic information and glue them together. Everything has its space. They're all working cohesively. That's what all of this is. So now we're starting to get really granular, like I said before. Another thing that I just wanted to show you, look at all of this. So this is called automation, and I've explained this a few times on the channel, but this is when I start to really dive in. This is probably a really good example here, this drum. So this is just sort of a percussive element. It sort of has that low end information, and then it has a nice high hit, and I want that to stand out in the mix. And so what this automation is, what these yellow lines are, is volume. So I'm adding hand-drawn volume spikes to get them to stand out in the mix. And you'll hear in the context of the mix, it makes it stand out a little bit more. Again, we want everything to have its own sort of slice of the entire mix. We don't want anything fighting for attention. And sometimes that means turning other stuff down. Sometimes that means accentuating only certain aspects without accentuating the whole thing. It's complicated, but it's a lot of fun. And I've done that here too. You know, this is the bass drum down here. So, you know, we have the bass drum turning down a little bit in the verses, turning back up in the chorus. Some automation on the snare drums, and this is some automation with these impact sounds that add a really nice transitional element to the entire piece. Sounds kind of lame on its own, but listen to what it does to say, like, this is the beginning of the chorus, that high-end information. And so right here, now I'm automating the bass a little bit because that big, crunchy, subby bass is cool, but we don't want it to be too oppressive, nor do we want to lose that low-end information in the mix. This is the stuff that like sounds really dope on car speakers and stuff. This is some EQ, so I'm boosting some of this low end just a little bit. I want to show you one other piece of the puzzle that makes things very complicated, but also is a lot of fun. And this is going to be a hard thing to catch. So if you're listening in headphones like I am, you're going to catch it a little bit better. But over here on my stereo out, and I'll move it over so my face isn't in the way, right here, this fader, this fader governs the entire song. And I have two plugins on there that are really just utilities. They're not doing anything to the song, but I use them to check in on the song. This is a multimeter utility. And what this does is it shows me how much sound I'm actually processing and where the sound is going, because I have the sound on stereo spread. So some information is coming into your left ear, some information is coming into your right ear, and some information is going straight down the middle. And you see the right side is peaking a little louder than the left side. So I'm going to have to go in and do a little bit of balancing. So that's something I have to constantly be checking as I'm gluing these things together. Another thing, this is a gain plugin. I'm not using the gain, but I have a mono switch here where I can turn the song from stereo to mono. So stereo is where it's coming at you from all sides. You can do panning and all this stuff. But mono, when you're going through like a small speaker or an AM radio channel, mono compresses all of the sound through one singular source rather than stereo spread in two sources. And listen to how different the song sounds in mono. I'll go back to the chorus here. So this is in stereo, and this is in mono. So in mono, you lose a lot of information. and that's going to happen regardless, but you have to be making sure that you're not losing so much information that the song doesn't even make sense. There's something called phase cancellation, and I'm not going to go into the science right now, but essentially, if something is spread in two directions, the sound waves on the right side and the left side can clash perfectly that they cancel the noise out altogether. So when you switch the song into mono, you can lose the entire piano part or the entire bass part altogether. So I have to be continuously checking the song in mono to make sure I'm not losing that crucial information on small speakers. So I'm not going to, like, engineer the song fully right now or anything because I still need to get all of the videos out about, like, how we got to this point. But I just wanted to show you, now I'm starting to transition into the really granular nitty-gritty stuff where it's like, I have to be so precise with every move. This is, the production is over. That's the creative stuff. That's kind of the art. This is now the science. How do I get the sound to fit on one frequency spectrum without canceling each other out? How am I accounting for phase? How am I listening to it both in mono and in stereo? I'm trying to make the song translate the best on every speaker for every listener, whether they're listening on headphones, on $2,000 speakers in their car or on their phone. I need to account for all of that all at once. Really fascinating and a lot of fun, but also hard work. So I just kind of wanted to show you like where I'm at in the process now, which is the really granular stuff. If you're into this, please like and follow and subscribe and all that stuff. Join me on this journey because this YouTube channel is all about nerding out about music. And also, I'm planning on making an album that hopefully I'll drop by the end of this year, if not early next year, and this song will likely be on that album. So all of the things that I'm making, I have a plan to eventually release. So if you're a fan of my music and you are curious how I make it, this is the entire process, and you can kind of get hints and see where I'm going with all of these songs before I ultimately release them for you to enjoy on Spotify and Apple Music and all of that. Which is a great transition to say, if you're not streaming Pink and Green, please do so. It's available everywhere. And also, you should check out the Pink and Green music video that I released here on the channel as well, because it was a really cool performance, and I had a lot of fun making it. So if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. So much love to all of you. That video will be somewhere in the corner. Go check that out if you haven't already. And stay tuned for a big old Twitch stream content dump with all of the production aspects of how this song got to this point. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Follow me on Twitch. Okay, bye.